Uh, oh Lord. Okay. Alright. Good evening and salutations, my dear friends. Okay, so Drew has been a busy man. Okay, so here's the thing. I know that a lot of people do not like Drew. They find him vile, disgusting, creepy, which I don't really understand the creepy part, but whatever. All these names and everything. Now, as you know, I do like Drew. That does not mean I'm going to sit there and cut him any slack. Because in this episode, I, he gets Martin to seize the family credit, right? You know, where Lila and AJ and Alan and Edward and so forth is there. It's not they're saying that it violates public land or whatever. Actually gets a seize to the property, so it's like you can't even go in there. So that means that she and other the family members can't sit there and see their loved ones, right? That's pretty bad. Like that's pretty bad. Keep in mind, he's doing all this because he doesn't like the fact that they're denying him access to using the Quartermain name. My whole thing is that this whole thing is so stupid because I'm like, one, like Jordan said, you're using public funding to do this vendetta. And what is this vendetta even for? To try to get to use the Quartermain name? You don't even like these people. And with good reason to some extent, but you don't like them. So why are you sitting there doing all this to get the name? Like seriously? Listen, I don't think it's going to be as traumatizing as Geo is trying to make it sound out to be. But they're going back and forth. And the one word I cannot pronounce for the life of me is what ultimately is his downfall in a sense. The survey guy said preliminary. That means that it's not fully done. That means that, you know, the calculations aren't complete. But they go about this for a hot minute. Emma comes in. Emma's like, leave that old lady alone. What the? Now I'm going to be honest. Emma has been a pain in the ass since day one. Particularly her issue with Jocelyn, which makes zero sense to me, and it still will. So initially, she kind of annoyed me, and she rubbed me the wrong way. Then she finds out what's going on. She's like, "Yo, listen, you're so wrong. You're so out of pocket. You know, having them because Drew's like, listen, you can just move them somewhere else. You can move them on a property. So you want to literally move their final resting place somewhere else." And Emma has a big problem with that. See, the thing is, a long, 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 long time ago, Edward did something very brave. Remember the water crisis or whatever, or the water tampering? I remember that episode. And I remember it being a particularly hard episode to watch. This is where Edward gave Emma the last cure. You know, sacrificed himself. And it was, I'm not going to get too much into it because I'm probably just going to, yeah. But it was really hard because you knew that was his probably last final scene. And even as a teenager, it was one of those things that I understood. So, I don't want to get into that because then I'll just get emotional. But the point is, it's like she remembers that. So, she's really like, yo, you just out of pocket. She starts filming this and everything like that and starts calling them out. And to be honest, I'm like, as annoying as this chick is, she is not wrong. Like everything that she said, it was like, I'm looking at Drew like, bro, listen, I like you, but this chick is right. Like this chick is right, and it gets to a point where they get Jordan. Now Jordan and Isaiah's having a agree to disagree moment where he wants her to stop this investigation. She wants to keep doing it. And ultimately, he just like, all right, fine, you're hot. I don't like it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. That's when she gets down there and she's like, yo, don't do this. Using public funding to, spearhead this vendetta. Long story short, the survey guy is doing something and Tracy tries to stop it. And, from the looks of it, came across as assault. Now, I think Chase got there and Chase is like, did that win the soldier? What was that? And Chase has to arrest her. He doesn't put her in handcuffs, but he arrests her, right? And Drew has to smile. This villainous smile on his face. And I'm like, oof, okay, all right, this is what we're doing now. And it's like, that's when you saw him truly embracing his villain era. Because up until a point, I can sit there and look at that and be like, those are bad choices that you made. Human choices, but bad choices. You took particular pleasure in that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of Tracy either, because yes, while Drew isn't there using his money, his powers to influence, stuff like that, there's been so many times that Tracy has done that. So like I'm not liking her. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not cutting her any slack, but I'm like, you're denying her love, you're denying her access to her loved ones because of a name. Like honestly, tell you the truth, if I like somebody, I'm not gonna sit there and take your last name. What do I want to do that for? That's embarrassing. I don't want to do that. But he wants to then keep the prestige, the power, and everything like that. So that's out of pocket. And then you had another out of pocket comment, Lulu and Brooklyn. And I'm just gonna shortcut this because, like, I am not trying to sound like a dick, but it's gonna come out how it's gonna come out. Lulu wants to tell the truth. Brooklyn does not want to tell the truth. Brooklyn thinks that, and this is just her saying this, that what if that child that's not a child anymore, that's an adult, is happy, and you exposing the truth ruins that. Lulu's like, well, what if he doesn't know he's adopted and he finds out and he'll be happy? That's a possibility too. Yes, that's a possibility for Brooklyn. And Brooklyn's like, listen, I would choose my son's happiness over Dante's happiness. I get that. But the thing is, you don't know for sure. You're guessing. You want that to be the truth because it would absolve your guilt of not telling Dante, of taking that choice out of his hands by simply saying, no, it's better for the child. Yeah. Yeah, the child's life is going to get blown up because, and 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 Dante's life is going to get blown up. And then she sits there and uses this manipulation thing where it's like, well, if you tell, then that means that Dante has a son. And if Dante has a son, then Rocco's obviously going to sit there and feel left out. And you don't want to sit there and do that, right? You wouldn't do anything like that, right? And then she sits there and calls her selfish. And I'm like, how are you calling her selfish when every word that comes out of your mouth when it comes towards your son is your son? And I didn't get the whole my son. And I don't even know what my son looks like. Oh, there's a lot of me's and my's and I's in there, isn't there? Do you have enough breath to sit there and mention Dante in that little speech? No? Oh, okay. I thought you did, but well, I guess your mouth got too full of me's, I's, and mine's. So yeah, ultimately, she does sit there and convince Lulu to not say anything. Lulu's like, hey, listen, this isn't in the past. And she's like, well, I made my decision a long time ago and I'm sticking with it. Okay, that's still pretty selfish, but whatever. But I found out because Mom Dukes is keeping it alive, talking to Martin. So, I know that because she knows that. So, Your past may not stay so much in the past. And she does sit there and tell Lois, and she gets upset. Now, Lois is grilled by Ned, and Ned is like, why is Gio the exception to the money? You wouldn't sit there if Brooklyn needed money, you wouldn't sit there and do that for Brooklyn, but you do that for Gio. Why is that? Now, all she says is, the Cirillos to sit there and love him, Gio, but finances, that's going to be Sonny's area. Sonny has the financial area to sit there and give him the leg room that he needs to sit there and grow and cultivate his craft. And that's how she explains it. And that is like, you think that I couldn't have done that too? I mean, did you even ask me? Now, of course, Lois does this. Spinning lies. Oh, you give so much to so many other people like Leo, and I didn't want to sit there and put you out or whatever. I'm like, okay, Lois. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that. Now, Dante, long story short, with Maxie, Dante comes over for advice to sit there and try to, get some advice on how to get Lulu to sit her ass down for a hot minute and be a mother to, Rocco and, whatever, and not throw herself into danger. And long story short, she just starts blurting things out like, what are you talking about? I mean, like, are you talking about that time where Lulu broke into Martin's hotel room to try to look for something? Oops, did I say that? Shit, I don't know where that came from. Well, since I'm already on the roll, um, and granted, this part came out because Dante's trying to find answers to, calm Lulu down and support Brooklyn. And in her weird attempt, breaking girl code, because that's always awesome, she tells Dante that Lulu's in love with him. Love with him. He's like, what am I supposed to do with that? Nothing, just be understanding and, not be so hard on Lulu. So I'm like, you you just start giving secrets away. Jesus Christ, lady. Um Now what is he gonna do with that? And when Dante when Lulu comes to Maxie's place, the vent, runs across Dante. Now, Valentine was the one that alerted that texted Rocco because he's like, yo, listen, there's some dangerous people coming after me. I know I have on my villain mustache. That's a little inside joke for if you know the actor, you know why I'm sitting there saying that. If you don't know, well, if you know, write in the comment section. Write in the comment section if you know. Um, but he's like, life is getting too dangerous. I got to get you back with Lulu. I should have did that before. And of course, Charlotte's like, I don't want to leave. You're my papa. Da 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 da. Blah 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 blah. Meanwhile, Jason and Anna are looking at the situation, and eventually they go in. Once they see the WSP agents, they go in first. They tell them to sit there and hide. The agents come in. The agents like, yeah, this isn't on. This op isn't Jack. I'm like, well, that's not good. Because if this op isn't by Jack, who sent you? You know what? We're not going to sit there and take any time. Jason and Anna prove once again for the billionth time that they're just badasses. Takes them out, and Jason takes Charlotte outside and tells Charlotte, "Hey, listen, Anna's not going to sit there and take out Valentine. She's going to sit there and try to save him. Because Valentine's like, yeah, there's no saving him. This is the WSB. I know too much. Jack, Mr. Brennan, whatever the hell you want to sit there and call him. John, remember his name? Remember his name used to be John. Yeah, me too. But he's like, yeah, I'm not making this out. I'm not making out alive, so I'm not going to come in with you. I'm just going to run and hide, and now he can actually run and hide because he doesn't have a teenager to deal with and posting on social media and all that other stuff. So Also, Gio was there in case I forgot to sit there and say that Gio was actually there. I felt like I would have been remiss if I didn't sit there and say that. I mean, all he did was kind of stand there, said a couple of comments, went to go get Aunt Lois to come back with Ned, and yada yada yada. But that was that was it. Hey, remember the little joke that we had that we found out? We just all we just all assumed that Gio was there for Trina. Remember that? Yeah. Good times, right? Now, before I go, I swear if I would have spilled this water on me, I would not have actually done this video again. I don't think I would actually have time to do this video again. But that just leads into my second part of this video. See, I talked about this on Beyond the Gates. If you don't watch Beyond the Gates, watch Beyond the Gates. But just in general, I'm doing 5 soap operas. Technically 6 because of Hollyoaks, but it's only 3 days a week, it's 20 minutes. So we'll just go with 5. But because I'm doing 5 soap operas and doing it 5 days a week, things are going to get a little hectic, right? And it really depends on what time I get out of work if I'm going to always be able to do the live streams. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not stopping doing the live streams, but like for tomorrow, I get out at 3 something. Yeah, 3 o'clock. Which does not seem that bad, but when you're doing 5 soap operas and you're doing 5 soap operas, you're doing the reviews, and for me, I don't like to sit there and rush anything. So that does cause a bit of a snag. So there's going to be times and days where either I'm going to have to push the stream back a little later or just cancel the stream into the following next day. Um, 5 soap operas is actually a blessing in a lot of ways because it gives me more content and more stuff to talk about. But that's also leads to me being a little more busier. And by busier, meaning more time, and the longer it takes me to get home, the longer it takes me to do the reviews and watch the shows, and you get what I'm sitting there saying. And I also heard, what is it, GM3? GM3 or Good Morning America. A lot of them, or that shows or whatever is gone, which leaves some vacancy. This is stuff that I heard from Michael Furman. If they should put another show on there. If they put on 6 shows, 6 soap operas, oof, it's going to be great. I'm going to be a very busy man. But then that's also going to lead to. So, I'll probably sit there and say this for the next couple of days. I'll say it in my streams, I'll put it in a post, but just to get people, you know, used to the idea if I'm running late and I may not always be able to do a stream, at least I can sit there and do reviews. I can put out my thoughts and we can sit there and talk about it, and probably the next day when I do a live stream. Anyway, that's one show I got. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are, and I'll see you in the next video.